Guys, I got knocked the hell out. They're trying to stop me, but you know me. Good grief, I already got 2 likes. I ain't even started yet. Thanks for the 2 likes. I'm trying to get this dang camera right. As you can see, Roadkill, one of my creators, won. Wow. All I got to say is, if they're trying to stop us, they know we're telling the truth, and that's usually the truth. And yes, I was not the only one that got knocked out. Dutch Sense got knocked out too. So just hold on. Let me try to get back where he's at. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to where he was at. Damn. I seen it coming. I mean, we should have seen it coming, right? What is going on with this stupid internet camera? Let me just give me a moment. Well, I tell you what. Trying to get it right, folks. Just give me a moment. Damn. I can't see where I'm at here on this camera. I'm going to say we're almost there. Tonight, I'm not the only one I'm hearing around the world is getting hit hard by the NWO hackers, is what we call them. But, all right, let's keep on. Let me look for that news story, right? Oh, shoot. I thought I fixed that. Just give me a moment. Damn. I'll get it right in a minute one day. I can see better when you're... Okay. Unbelievable, though, guys. Where's Dutch? Where did Dutch go? Dutch, are you here? Hey, buddy. I'm going to try to find him. Just give me a moment. Thanks for the 2 likes. I'm shocked. Nobody likes me because I'm telling the truth. It's okay, though. And we're back.
Same with over to the west. We get into Indonesia. Look, everybody from Java needs to be on watch.
We're trying to fix it.
And it's not an exaggeration. They'll all feel it. It'll catch them off guard. They'll think it's the end of the world or that it's another huge earthquake, when really it's the one right in the middle. The people in the middle that need to be the ones that watch for the biggest movement. While everybody else goes, we don't want people to go into panic mode.
Swear to God, this thing quit.
Do not be scared at this point. Now we understand the basic motion is starting to take place, that these middle fulcrum points are going to be our spots to watch. So we go over to Europe, the same thing applies. We get over here, you see a big, giant, open, silent zone across China. For my viewers in China, Nepal, India, North India, now let's be specific about that. India goes all the way over to here, and then this is the main land of India.
God's mad at y'all.
It has a little border region that opens back up. The halfway fulcrum point between all this movement over in, North Afghanistan.
Oh, by the way, that's Sabu from ECW versus the Greg Valentine. I created Sabu. Enjoy.
Here and over here in Sumatra, halfway point. Not as a crow flies as we go around the bend. Look, this puts everybody from eastern Nepal across India, going down into Myanmar. That's a spot to watch. And we also have another spot to watch. I mean, this keeps going and going and going. So every middle fulcrum point is going to get hit. Well, there's another middle fulcrum point. Between what? We're looking right here on the coast of Myanmar. But a fulcrum point between earthquakes that happened a few days back. This one, if we add this one in, the middle fulcrum point is here, and the other middle fulcrum point is right here. So, again, do I incorporate in the 4.8 from just over 48 hours ago? Or if I take it out, then this makes this the new fulcrum point. So that's why we need to warn all these people. It is shaking the whole planet. It's like, think of a lake full of ice, and there's fractures across those pieces of, the giant slab of ice that's broken, and then a giant wave comes in from underneath and starts to shake them all off at once. It normally wouldn't happen this way. It would normally be one sheet of ice pressing against the other and causing a chain reaction. But instead, we get a disturbance from down below, and we see it come up on all sides at once. It's a truly amazing thing to see happen right now. This is why I'm stressing this so hard for you guys to be ready. When we get over to Europe, you're not going to escape this either. Same with the United States. We're not going to be escaping the brunt on this over the next 8 days. 10-day watch, 2 days in, look what's going on. Not an exaggeration. Down in New Zealand, let me show you where we got a warning going for you. Now that you've gotten a 6.6 to 6.7 up to your north, this should be a wake-up call that you may be looking at a 6.6 to 6.7 down here off the coast. Oh wait, a new earthquake has just struck, hold on. A new 4-point-something just struck off the northern eastern coast of New Zealand. Hold on. As I'm talking about it, no way. Oh. Cue up the Twilight Zone music. 2236. Oh my gosh. A new 4.1 has just popped up here off the eastern coast of New Zealand. Look at that. So, again, this is going to be from GeoNet. It may be a larger earthquake or smaller, but just as I was getting ready to show you. Okay, so this is the spot where we're watching for a release to happen. It's the only spot to be hit in the last several hours with any significant sized earthquakes. Look, we look in the last 3 to 5 hours at, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, again, it's the power of the mind, right? No, that would just be a coincidence, guys. All right. So the earthquake just hit, but it's not nearly as big. We're going to look for something over the next few days. Like I said, we're 8-day watch still. And you need to watch, I would say, within the first several days. So if it's going over to the west right now with 6.6, we hope it comes in less in New Zealand. We really do. I've got a lot of viewers down there, and even a lot of people that don't like me. But I know they're all watching, and I want them to be ready too. I want everybody down there to be on the same page. Look, when you get a big disturbance like this up to your north, it kind of shouldn't be that shocking that New Zealand sees motion. When it first started, New Zealand saw motion. And this is no exaggeration either. That we saw a 6.0 ghost quake be reported below New Zealand first, then the 8.0 shut up, then they deleted the ghost quake below New Zealand. But then a 5.1 hit next to Christchurch, and they deleted that too. All these ghost quakes. Well, why are there ghost quakes? Well, there's mystery shaking that's being detected because it's so close. So it's detecting shaking as though there's an earthquake there. Nobody feels the actual shaking because it's the equipment that's being shaken. And why is the equipment being shaken? It's the plate boundary that's going into motion. So if the plate boundary goes into motion and the equipment's being shaken by a disturbance far away, it stands to reason that you could be shaken up for real as the plate boundary goes into motion. So now you get a new 4 down on the plate boundary. That's not a shock. You're hit because, of course, you would expect that. All right, so let's go up here across to the west-northwest and see what's going on across Europe. Anything else new? Other than Italy getting hit at our expected location or just north of it, and a new swarm breaking out next to Campobasso, and a new swarm breaking out down south, down in Sicily. Gonna have to say, sudden swarming in Italy. Where did that come from? Anybody know? How about our deeper, anybody? Bueller? Down below the plate, there was a new series of deep earthquakes that now have perturbed Italy. Now it's coming in less, that's good. That's really good. So, really, when you see it this way, and you see it spread out so quickly within the course of days, this is not something we normally see, guys. This is seismic go time. This is where the seismic guy gets actually excited. My stone face actually breaks a sweat, and we are dealing with a situation that I want everyone to understand what they're dealing with. This is nothing to play around with. You would not ignore a giant storm coming your way if it was a hurricane or something.
Don't worry.
Why would you ignore a seismic storm coming your way? You see movement happening on both sides of the Pacific like this in the course of a few days? You know that it's connected. Now the spots in between should also start to move. Even a kid could get this. You got one side that's moving, you got the other side that's moving, and the thing's a round plate that's connected to other plates. Don't you think they're all going to go into motion? And if they don't, we'd be very lucky. Like relying on luck, quote unquote, to hope for that goes away. It's like hoping that a hurricane goes away. Are you going to ignore it though? You can hope it goes away, that's fine. But plan for it to come. And if it doesn't, we're lucky. Time now, 7 p.m. Central Time. We're going to save this as a video over on YouTube for people to get an update on the situation. and I certainly will be back on in 3 hours. Well, actually, more sooner than that. Let's continue this 1 hour update thing. It's 7 o'clock now. We'll give you guys a chance to share the live streams out to the world. Let everybody know what to look for in these different locations. Or if you just want to tell them to tune back in, and I'll re-explain it all again. I'm going to be a talking fool tonight. Got my coffee, and I'm going to be up all night. I don't think we're done yet. We're going to keep going like this for the next 8 days at least. I put a 7 to 10 day watch on it. This is 2 days in. 8 days to go. You need to be on watch to let your friends, family, loved ones, co-workers know they need to have an earthquake plan. Look at the videos coming out of Venezuela.
Yeah.
Okay, you need an earthquake plan for stuff like that. So if it hits, you take shelter or you go outside. But you saw what was outside that parking garage. You saw what's outside that parking garage. If you didn't see it, I'll take you back over and show you again. Let's go back over there. Let's go look. Maybe there's more video. Hey, there he is. Okay. Okay. Wow. Oh, man. I don't like seeing this. I don't like seeing this. That better be a stock photo or something. Buildings evacuated as Caracas is hit. Man. God.
Sad.
Look at this. Okay, we've got video
Sad
coming
that
out
y'all don't listen.
from the location.
And it's sad y'all going down. It's sad that I was right.
That's not somebody shaking their hands, guys. That's actually
And
earthquake.
the
You can see the
trollers
trees shaking.
were
You can see the
wrong.
buildings going. I don't want to step on anybody's videos. I just want to show you guys. We can go down here a little bit, and we'll just keep going. And we'll find that video. Look at this. Look inside. Look on the ground. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. When an earthquake strikes, you have latches on a cabinet. Latches on a cabinet make all the difference in the world for stopping things from flying out of those cabinets. And you'll save yourself such a headache. Oh, wow, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Steel rebar reinforced concrete. Stack and pack block housing, of course. But look at our bricks. This is a perfect example. Hopefully you guys can all see this. Right here. I've talked about this before. Now, stone's not supposed to be moving. All right? Just put it simply. Brick, stack, any kind of stone stack is not supposed to be moving. Start shaking, you get yourself a problem. And now look where the cracks formed. Starting at the edge and going up through the center. Starting at the edge, going down. Now, what'll happen is all this is still mortared together. And this whole slab here can fall off, connected. All those bricks all at once, all falling down. Instead of just one brick. That's just one example. This is a brick exterior to a concrete stack, just in case you guys don't know. Okay, let's keep going down. Let's look at more of these. Inside the stores, of course, if you're inside, see these fluorescent lights. Fluorescent lights can be jostled out at a moment's notice, and when they fall, they break. They have powder in them. They break into tiny shards, and not only that, when a fluorescent light bulb explodes or it hits something, it actually explodes. The glass actually shoots out and flies out. It doesn't just break. Here's a shot. Okay, that's a car crushed on the outside of a parking garage. And here's a video. Here we go. Here's the video. This is outside the parking garage. Now look, the building, they'll pan up to it in a second. Now watch this. When they pan up to the building, you'll see the building stone tacked. So, in other words, you probably could have stayed inside. And if you go running outside, you're going to run into this. And you're going to be playing dodgeball with bricks falling from 100 feet at terminal velocity, whereas inside, you might have just gotten some rubble or a grit falling on you from the crumbling of the concrete along seams and so forth. Reinforced concrete, if the pylons are driven deep enough and they're stable enough and they're steel beam, you're not going to get a collapse unless it's a mega quake in the 9.0 range or greater. Usually, unless there's liquefaction or something. There's outside mitigating factors, of course, that can play into this. Now, here's a good thing right here. I like to see this. When people are outside and they've taken to a spot that's appropriate, far away from buildings, out in a square. Look, they've got their cell phones. They're in groups. They've congregated. Now, I'm not seeing too many emergency kits. Excuse me. I'm not seeing too many emergency kits. But this is a perfect time, a perfect example for you guys to have your emergency kits. You can put in basic stuff. You've got most of the stuff already around your house. Let me just give you some examples. Change of clothes, set of shoes, set of socks. Right? You already got it. Put it in the bag. Same with the flashlight and batteries. Likely you do have it, and if you don't, you should.
Yep.
So put that into the emergency kit. Have these little, and if you have any medicines that you require, any kind of medications, put that in as well. Look at what's happened here.
Yep.
So, when this happens, it's just a few moments, and you have to be on go time. You have to be ready to go at a moment's notice. And that's where, again, I come in to tell you, for the people who are listening, it'd be prudent for you to develop a plan and an emergency kit. The emergency kit can be used also for other disasters or emergencies, like you lose power or severe weather.
Let me help you out, guys. And I know I'm getting shadow banned tonight. And it's okay. Because people always look at my shows and my videos after the live show because they want to comment down below. And that's fine. That's fine. Because I'm monitoring every guy, every woman, anybody that comes in there and acts like a fool. I'm going to hit you with a stool. And that's all I got to say. All right. This is what I'm going to say. California, West Coast needs to get out now. And if you don't, the Marines will be kicking your ass after the volcano and the earthquake. They're ready to beat your ass because you didn't listen.
Coming in. Okay, well,
Thought
at least
you
you
might
have
wanna
a
know
few of
that.
those things that you need in a bag that you can grab. Just basic stuff. So do not be scared. Now, let me explain something to you guys before we get ready to go here. This is crucial for you guys to understand why earthquakes are not random. The standing wave that I brought up, the standing waves form between these points. So we get a standing wave forming between these two sets of sixes. And at the standing wave pinnacle point is where the biggest combined total of the force that's been introduced on both sides adds up. So earthquakes are not random. They are related to one another as they come up and travel out across the plates. Secondly, the earthquakes are following the plate boundaries and craton edges.
Yep.
So they're not random in any way. They are following an avenue or avenues. So we know the origin point of the force,
the NWO
and we know the avenues by which they're taking. And we know the termination points. We have them marked with X's, and every single X mark has now been hit.
Mm-hmm.
So with every X mark hit and every avenue full, we have a traffic jam of pressure coming from our big disturbance over here in the West Pacific.
Yep.
It flows across the plates. This force flows across the underside of the plates and drops off earthquakes along the way, like fingerprints back to the ultimate source, or like the footprints in the sand of the invisible man that you can't see. We can't see the seismic force, but we can see its fingerprints. We can see what it's dropping off along the way as it's traveling from region to region. Now that you got your head around all that, it should remove a lot of the mystery of earthquakes and replace it with vigilance.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch it come your way like watching a storm blowing across the Pacific, following the tracks of the plate boundaries.
Yep.
Over in our direction in the United States, Central America, South America, we catch all our pressure from over here.
We're
so
last.
if you want to know what's going to happen in North America, Central America, South America, seismically speaking, you have to look over here.
Yep.
And
West
look within a
Coast
week.
might go.
It usually takes approximately 7 days, sometimes a few days longer, sometimes a few days shorter. Usually 7 days or about, the force to travel around the planet and come back out the other side and start the cycle over again, since it's a tidal flow-like cycle. And speaking of tidal flows, Moon is at its furthest distance tonight.
Yeah.
So Moon, look down at the bottom of the screen. Down here it says 73% and D 97%. 97. When that reaches D100, that's the distance. So the Moon is at its furthest distance right now, and we're getting ready to go into a full moon in the next few days.
Yep.
So in the next several days, this 73% will go up to 100%. That'll be a full moon. So full moon, full distance, August 22nd, 2018, International Time. just after 00:07 UTC or 7:09 p.m. Central Time on the 21st. We're going to go ahead and sign off now. I'll be back in an hour. We'll do it at 8 o'clock. So 50 minutes, 50 minutes. You have a chance to go take a quick break, share the information for all the people who need to get it, let them know I'm covering this on the stream, non-stop. You can watch for free. I'm not going to push myself or self-promote or subscribe to my channel or all that stuff. No. Just get the warnings out however you have to do it. And we'll be back on to recover this over and over and over and over and over again for the next several hours and going into tomorrow to see if anything else goes down. Okay? And of course, it's going to carry on for the next 8 days, so I'm going to be around nonstop. I'm going to be your best friend or your worst enemy for the next 8 days. Or if you're indifferent, you'll just hear me for the next 8 days every once in a while. Peace out, guys. And one more time, don't be scared. This is go time. This is what we've been preparing for years. So here we are. You guys are great. You've done your part. We've already averted injuries. Over in Indonesia, people were here in chat when the earthquake struck that we warned for. They were in chat already. I noticed somebody made a video saying that I was taking credit, saying that, it didn't happen. There were people in chat. I'll testify under a court of law. We'll go to court. Let's go. I'll see you guys later. Much love.
Yeah, we're tired of the damn trollers. We'll go to court if you wanna try to beat us. Because I promise you, we want to get rich off of this. And we're going to. We're not done. Just hold on. Trying to get to the other story. I mean, it's getting ugly, and y'all just sitting there fiddle-faddling around. Now, why is these earthquakes are happening? I'll tell you why. This story right here is coming up. George Soros, the NWO, saying that he messed up the machines on purpose. He announced it finally. He finally said that he did it. Here's the video. Enjoy.
This is a breaking news alert.
Some breaking news now. You may have heard that a document has been leaked regarding a massive Democrat plot to silence conservatives online. Of course, George Soros behind it all. Art Moore for WorldNet Daily reports that the recent wave of censorship of conservative voices on the internet by tech giants Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and Apple mirrors a confidential 49-page memo concocted by a coalition of George Soros-funded progressive groups to eliminate what they say is right-wing propaganda and fake news. Soros has long held that President Trump is a threat to the world order, but a fleeting phenomenon that would soon be purged. Remember this moment?
Clearly, I consider the Trump administration a danger to the world, but I regard it as a purely temporary phenomenon that will disappear in 2020 or even sooner.
He said that just 1 year before the newly discovered Brock memo was leaked, and now we know how he intends to erase Trump and his supporters. According to the Washington Free Beacon, the Brock memo, titled Democracy Matters Strategic Plan for Action, it was presented in January of 2017 by Media Matters founder David Brock at a retreat in Florida with about 100 donors. The plan appears to be in full effect now as conservatives have been screaming from the rooftops of clear censorship. Just 4 months ago in April, Laura Ingraham tackled the issue with Brent Bozell from Media Research Center. Take a look.
The Media Research Center released a devastating report today documenting the censorship of conservative speech by Silicon Valley's tolerant tech giants. Among the findings, claims from former employees that Facebook hides conservative content from the trending section were backed up by a detailed study. Google, YouTube, and Twitter partner with leftist groups like the Southern Poverty Law Center that hate conservatives. And check this out. Of the 25 members on the panel that guides Twitter's policies, 12 are liberals, and there's only one conservative. I can't believe there's one. Shocking, well, but not surprising, is it?
And now this, a confidential 49-page memo titled Democracy Matters Strategic Plan for Action. It's designed to defeat President Trump by working with the major social media platforms to to eliminate, quote, right-wing propaganda and fake news. Well, now it's been leaked to the public. So here's a couple of the pages and excerpts that we've been able to take out of it. Trump will be defeated either through impeachment or the ballot box in 2020. This is what they want. These are their goals. The balance of power will shift back to Democrats. Will measurably impact U.S. Senate, gubernatorial, and state legislative races. We will free ourselves from solely relying on the press. A robust digital program will reach voters directly online.
Gary, I hate to break the news to you. They're going to bomb Washington, D.C. Just thought you might want to know that, since you're a stupid idiot and you're on my list.
It gets worse, though. These are the outcomes. Serial misinformers and right-wing propagandists inhabiting everything from social media to the highest levels of government will be exposed. Right-wing propagandists. Internet and social media platforms like Google and Facebook will no longer, uncritically and without consequence, host and enrich fake news sites and propagandists. Toxic alt-right social media-fueled harassment campaigns that silence dissent and poison our national discourse will be punished and halted. Do you realize what this is saying? This is their plan to effectively silence any opposing voices. See, this is where the left completely fails the complete argument, because they just want to have the only voice. You can't have a competing voice. You can't have a competing idea and let the people decide. The only way they can win is by silencing, and they call it propaganda. They call it fake news, and then they blame.
I call it the silence of the lambs, just like the movie, The Red Dragon.
Google and Facebook for allowing people to have a voice. Yeah. Oh, it gets worse. Facebook's virtual monopoly on information and distribution has supercharged the fragmented landscape. But see, these are all platforms that the left uses as well. There are left-wing people speaking out. They're using the group organization tools on Facebook. They're using YouTube in the exact same fashion. Everybody's using these platforms to present a message. But apparently we're not allowed to, right? Because we're conservative. It continues. Almost 2/3 of Americans, 200 million, consume news on social media. By contrast, less than half of adults watch local news. So this is an admission of how powerful social media is. They know it's a tool that's defeating them because our message is better. In 2016, a full 2/3 of Facebook users used the platform to get news. Facebook's algorithm, here it is, Facebook's algorithm fuels confirmation bias by feeding content from outlets that tell users what they want to hear. Fake news purveyors exploited this vulnerability for profit and political influence. You know what? Yeah, empower people to share these videos on social media. Mm-hmm. We have an opinion that we want people to hear, so we tell people to share it.
Yep.
It's not exploiting it. That's what these platforms were made for. It's disgusting. Oh yeah, there's more, my friends. There's more. Media Matters has already secured access. This is where they have admitted. Media Matters already secured access to raw data from Facebook, Twitter, and other social media sites. They have.
And that's when it happened, October the 1st, 2016, when Barack Hussein Obama gave the internet to ICANN when George Soros told Obama to do that. And not just George Soros, but that stupid freak Pope Francis. I'm enjoying this. How about y'all?
Technology necessary to automatically mine white nationalist message boards in alt-right communities for our archive. We will now develop technologies and processes to systematically monitor and analyze this unfiltered data. The earlier we identify a fake news story, the more effectively we can quash it with mathematical precision, creating an early warning system for fake news and disinformation. Using predictive technology, they will identify which individuals and outlets are the most destructive forces driving fake news, misinformation, and harassment. And then, with those cutting-edge advances, they will neutralize it. They will neutralize people's ability to speak. See, every time they say fake news, every time they call it propaganda, you have to replace those words with conservative thought, conservative ideals, conservative opinion, conservative news. See, the left is so blind.
What do you want me to call it? Fake news or killer news? Because the news has been killing you for decades. Let's keep on.
with their hatred and their will to destroy America, that they have to label and classify everything in some manner as to give it a negative light. I mean, I'm all for people having open arguments, open debates, discussing the merits of a cause so that we can have an enriched discussion and come to a conclusion or a solution. But the left, no, they don't want that.
Or the right.
And then, collaborating with social media platforms. Media Matters has a...
Hey, Gary, I hate to break the news to you. The right don't want it either, or we would already have freedom, and we wouldn't have to do all this on WWE gaming. So think about that.
Has unique insight to help fix problems. Outlets that push fake news are completely dependent on Facebook to spread their lies and ad networks like Google to fund them. Media Matters has a detailed map of the constellation of right-wing Facebook pages that has been the biggest purveyor of fake news, as well as insight into the food chain of fake news and how it was moving through the Facebook ecosystem. Similarly, after Google revised their terms of service in order to prohibit so-called fake news sites from using their advertising network, it was Media Matters that had the information necessary to identify 40 of the worst fake news sites to which the policy applied. Your voice, my voice, they don't want to hear it. Because our ideas of freedom, liberty, limited government, personal responsibility, capitalism, these are ideals that they do not, they don't live in these. They don't walk in those ideals. They want people to carry a victim mentality. They want people to continually be dependent upon the state and worship at the altar of the state. This is really bad, friends, but at least we have this. You know, we have President Trump speaking out.
Really, dude?
Now on Monday...
Dude, he's not speaking out. He ain't doing a damn thing. He would already had our freedom back on Facebook and YouTube and all these other media places. He hasn't done a damn thing. Have you not noticed that, Gary? Have you not noticed that, man? Seriously. I've been following you for how long? And it's like you keep on holding on like you're on a cliffhanger and you can't stop. Because that's all you have. No, you got more than that. And it's the Marines militia
right
that's
here,
going to bring them down.
the Gateway Pundit blog noted the memo's relationship with recent moves by Silicon Valley tech giants to shadow ban conservative political candidates and pundits and remove content. Now, they're right here, the first page that Brock targets is Breitbart.com, having received millions of dollars of funding from extremist billionaires close to the Trump administration. Well, who is Soros? He's an extremist billionaire, right? So you can have Breitbart funded by an extremist billionaire, as you call it.
George Soros is a terrorist.
And you guys can have Soros. They have Breitbart. What's the difference? So you guys go on an attack campaign on the left. They're right here. The Breitbart provided a nexus point for the so-called alt-right, which is the newest branding for white nationalism, anti-Semitism, and misogyny, to exploit vulnerabilities through the media landscape. Now, the conservative Brent Bozell, as you just saw, called the left's move against conservative thought. He actually came out and called it a jihad. Take a look.
It's 50 pages documenting what conservatives have been suggesting has been happening. This is, it sounds hyperbolic, but Lord, this is true. This is the emerging, the greatest censorship of free speech worldwide in the history of man. And let me explain this. The left is on a jihad against conservative thought. It's happening in academia, in entertainment, in business, religion, everywhere. Everywhere where they're attacking, they're suppressing conservative thought. Now they're going to the social media giants. These social media giants have audiences in the billions. And what we've shown in this massive report is whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Google or YouTube, they're all employing different tactics to go against conservatives.
And David Brock's memo, Democracy Matters, Strategic Plan for Action, is a blueprint that is being followed right now. Bozell, Breitbart, Alex Jones, Gateway Pundit, Conservative Tribune, Next News, Diamond and Silk, all targets. And the memo states, the earlier we can identify a fake news story, the more effectively we can quash it with new technology at our fingertips. Researchers monitoring news in real time will be able to identify the origins of a lie with mathematical precision, creating an early warning system for fake news and disinformation. Of course, the memo, as we just went over, discussed how Facebook was cracking down on fake news, including Media Matters providing the social media giant with a map of the constellation of right-wing Facebook pages that had been the biggest purveyors of fake news. A lot of those pages are gone now. Wiped off of Facebook. Banned from Facebook. Where's Liberty Writers News? Oh yeah, banned from Facebook. The memo also bragged that Media Matters provided Google with information necessary to identify 40 of the worst fake news sites that will be prevented from using Google's advertising network. Brock leaves no doubt that Google and Facebook are co-conspirators in advancing the fake news meme against news organizations like Infowars.com. Consider Media Matters clearly articulating strategy that Brock lays out in his book. Yeah. But what they don't realize is that Trump's swift action, following up on promises to voters, is more effective than any dirty, underhanded strategies that their little addled brains can come up with. Remember this tweet? Social media, totally discriminating against Republican conservative voices, speaking loudly and clearly for the Trump administration. We won't let that happen. They're closing down the opinions of many people on the right while at the same time doing nothing to others.
We're being
President Trump
tonight.
has highlighted this very fact. We know for a fact now we have the blueprint. This is
Stupid.
the action plan that Media Matters is putting out so that they can crush conservative voices.
Yep.
Thank God we have a president in the White House who is willing to fight for conservative
No,
values.
he's not. He's not fighting for
Because
no
we
one.
need to. We need to. We cannot let people like David Brock, George Soros, stifle
They're all
free
together,
speech in
dude.
America. I believe they should be able to speak. I may not agree with their positions and how they want to just destroy this country, turn into a socialist third world despot where everyone's dependent upon government handouts. No, I don't agree with that. But they are free to say it. But they're using their speech to crush other people's voices, and that is un-American.
Yep.
Comment below with your thoughts. We'll see you at the next report. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi. Thanks for sticking around. I got to talk to you about something. Here's the...
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you that part right there. You tell is free. Is not real. All right, let's go into the next story. We got a lot of stories coming out. Let's see here. Oh, I gotta check something. Hold on. Okay. Thanks for the subscribers. I've noticed. Just checking something. This looks like it's working. Okay. Looks like got two. Okay. All right. Just trying to see if it was still working or was I getting shadow banned. Breaking news: AJ Lee speaking to Vince McMahon. Alrighty. And more breaking news. Hurricane Lane has turned into a Cat 5. Category 5 hurricane. It's at 155 miles per hour. Wow. Holy crap, I got chill bumps. Hawaii's going to be wiped off the map, folks. This is, if you just see the red in the eye right now, this is unbelievable. Yeah, breaking news. We're going to that right now. Hurricane Lane.
Thunderstorm activity as
as we look towards areas, especially east of Pittsburgh, but perhaps another round of
this
thunderstorms
ain't
moves
good.
through during the later evening hours. So 10 o'clock news time. Overnight, anything we see would be fairly hit or miss in nature. Even 3, 4, 5 a.m., there's still some activity on the radar. And by tomorrow, anything we see spotty at best through the morning hours. Now we'll get you to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Things could get very active for you as we head through the evening. There's your timing around 8, 9 o'clock. Some heavy rain showers, thunderstorms. They'll continue into the 10 o'clock hour. Parts of southeastern Pennsylvania also getting in on some heavy rain. Could see a lingering stray shower or thunderstorm out there even into the early morning hours of your Wednesday. We get you into tomorrow's morning commute. Fairly dry. Anything we see would be spotty at best. You can see very little on the future radar. In Richmond, Virginia, we've got thunderstorms in the area for dinner time hours and through the evening, especially on the north side of town as we go through, say, 8, 9 o'clock local time. During the overnight hours, generally quieter, but still could see some thunderstorms in the area, especially down towards southeastern Virginia, down towards, say, Norfolk area. Tomorrow, the threat will continue around Norfolk, parts of the Outer Banks, even far north sections of coastal South Carolina. So that would be a place like Myrtle Beach, and then we've got a secondary area into eastern New England. Stray severe storm possible, Mike. Hail, damaging winds, both the threat tomorrow.
All right, Alex, thank you. When we come back, a lot more on our top story tonight. It's Hurricane Lane, an extremely intense Category 4 hurricane now directly threatening Hawaiian Islands. Our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knapp, breaks down why Lane is not a storm to be taken lightly.
Wow.
Michelin Premier. Save when new, save
Okay.
when you want.
Is this really happening right now? Breaking news. This is Birmingham, Alabama news. Planned bus route closures where all the shootings are happening. You can say goodbye to your bus route. I tried to tell you to stop shooting or you was going to lose your privileges on driving the bus on Facebook. I think I said that a couple of weeks ago and nobody listened. So, hey, yo. You remind me of Crime Time from WWE. Quit shooting each other. Quit. Before you know who. Before Optimus Prime hits you in the forehead with dynamite. Check this out. Breaking news. Good grief.
Tonight, many people in the Birmingham metro area are fearing possible cuts to the MAX bus routes. All of this is because of funding, of course. I'm Sherry Jackson.
No, it's
And I'm
not.
Jack Royer. The BJCTA says it hasn't received the full allocation of money from the city of Birmingham. Tonight, CBS 42 News reporter Michael Clark
Well, how
is
about
live.
that lie? It ain't about funding, jackass. Never mind. You're gone. You're a liar too, CBS News. Garbage. Complete garbage is all I got to say. Wow. Breaking news. Iran warns U.S. again. What's going on in Kuwait? Interesting.
President Hassan Rouhani checking out.
Okay, this is what it says. Iran warns U.S. with none other than new fighter jet tensions rises. Uh-oh. Did I say World War III was coming? Believe I did.
Iran's new fighter jet, unveiled on Tuesday in a show of strength as tensions soar with the United States.
Bobo. This is very cool.
Rouhani checking out Iran's new fighter jet, unveiled on Tuesday in a show of strength as tensions soar with the United States. The jet, Kausar, was made in Iran and will be used for short aerial support missions. Rouhani said the Islamic Republic should keep boosting its military prowess, which is what's stopping Washington from attacking it.
If you just joined us, earthquakes, volcanoes, tornadoes, hurricanes, and World War III, all in chaos in 2018. Just like I said.
On Tuesday, it would boost
Rest
its
in
military might and
peace.
also showcased a new fighter jet
NWO.
that increased tensions with the United States and with regional rivals over conflicts in the Middle East. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said the Islamic Republic's military prowess was what deterred Washington from attacking it, adding that under President Donald Trump the United States was becoming isolated even from its own allies. We should make ourselves ready to fight against the military powers who want to take over our territory and our resources, Rouhani said in a speech broadcast live on state television ahead of Wednesday's National Defense Industry Day. Why does the United States not attack us? Because of our power, because it knows the consequences, Rouhani added. Last week, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei also said the United States would avoid any military confrontation with Tehran because of Iranian military might. Khamenei has rejected Trump's offer of unconditional talks on a new nuclear deal, prompting Trump to tell Reuters in an interview on Monday, if they want to meet, that's fine, and if they don't want to meet, I couldn't care less. Relations between Washington and Tehran worsened further after Trump in May took the United States out of an international deal that curbed Tehran's nuclear program in return for an easing of economic sanctions. Trump branded the 2015 deal as flawed because it did not address Iran's missile program or involvement in conflicts in Syria and Yemen, and he has reimposed U.S. economic sanctions. Years of isolation and sanctions have stopped Iran importing many weapons and pushed it to develop a large domestic arms industry. It has sent weapons and thousands of soldiers to Syria to prop up President Bashar al-Assad's forces, but it lacks a powerful air force. Rouhani compared the sanctions on Iran with the US trade war with China and its new tariffs on some imports from Turkey and European countries. It's not only us who do not trust America. Today even Europe and China do not trust them. Even American allies like Canada have lost their trust, he said. Earlier on Tuesday, Rouhani attended a ceremony, broadcast by state TV, that included the flypast of a new fighter jet called Kausar, which Iran says is 100% indigenously made and able to carry various weapons and to be used for short aerial support missions. However, some military experts believe the fighter jet is a carbon copy of an F-5 first produced in the United States in the 1960s. The airframe appears to be an externally unaltered, two-seat F-5 Tiger, whilst it may be domestically manufactured, an entirely foreign airframe, said Justin Bronk, a research fellow specializing in combat air power and technology in the military sciences team at the Royal United Services Institute. It's a very small lightweight fighter with very small engines which limits the thrust output, a very low internal fuel capacity which limits range, very small nose which limits the size and power of radar that you can fit, he told Reuters. All of those constraints are not going to be changed by updating the internal components. While you might put a modern radar, or modern avionics, by Iranian standards, in there, it is still going to be subject to all limitations of the F-5 airframe. Iran's Air Force has been limited to perhaps a few dozen strike aircraft using either Russian or aging US models acquired before the 1979 Iranian Revolution. Iran has sent weapons and thousands of soldiers to Syria to help prop up President Bashar al-Assad's forces, but had to rely on Russia for aerial support due to its own lack of a powerful air force. The Islamic Republic launched in 2013 what it said was a new, domestically built fighter jet, called Ka 313, But some experts expressed doubts about the viability of the aircraft at the time. The news covers top U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton is visiting Israel and strongly condemned the Iran actions.
Boy, am I glad to see you here.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
This is Dr. Gunter Zuloff. Did he solve Carmichael's totient conjecture?
Ambassadors, come on. Good morning. Ambassador Bolton, John, once again, it's a pleasure to welcome you to Jerusalem, particularly since your visit comes after the historic decision by President Trump to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, to move the embassy here. As I mentioned last night, we've known each other for many decades, and you've been a consistent champion of our alliance in and out of government. It's a wonderful alliance, and Israel believes that it has no greater friend and ally than the United States. And I believe that the United States has no greater friend and ally than Israel. It's a peculiar kind of ally. We've consistently increased our defense spending. We insist on defending ourselves by ourselves and appreciate all manner of American support. But we believe that the alliance is the alliance of strong and like-minded, and we share America's values for freedom and liberty. Under President Trump, that alliance has grown stronger than it's ever been, and your visit here gives us an opportunity to make it even stronger and to align our policies even more closely on Iran, on Syria, on Gaza, and on the many challenges that face both our countries in this region. We had a wonderful discussion last night, and today we'll have the opportunity to continue and expand on many fields with you and your delegation. I know, John, you have a lot on your plate, so let me say how much I appreciate the fact that you're dedicating 3 days of meetings and discussions to your visit to Israel. That's no small matter. Second, I want to use this opportunity once again to thank President Trump for walking away from the terrible deal with Iran. The nuclear deal did not block Iran's path to the bomb. It paved Iran's path to an entire nuclear arsenal. And by removing the sanctions, it enabled Iran to bring in billions and billions of dollars to its coffers, which only fueled Iran's war machine in Syria, in Lebanon, in Yemen, and elsewhere. I believe that the president's decision to leave the disastrous Iran's deal was nothing less than a hinge of history. And Israel applauds the Trump administration's determination to reimpose tough sanctions on Iran and those doing business with Iran. I know that that view is shared by all our Arab neighbors, or practically everyone in this region, and I frankly believe that all countries who care about peace and security in the Middle East should follow America's lead and ratchet up the pressure on Iran. Because the greater the pressure on Iran, the greater the chance that the regime will roll back its aggression, and everybody should join this effort. In standing up to the regime, we stand with the people of Iran. The president has made it clear, Secretary Pompeo has made that clear, you have made it clear, and I have made it clear too in numerous appeals, direct appeals to the people of Iran. And it's important that the people of Iran understand that our fight is not with them. Our fight is with the regime that brutally represses them, that arrests women for uncovering their hair, that hangs gays in the public squares, that defies the aspirations for freedom of millions and millions of Iranians. Ambassador Bolton, Israel is also grateful for the Trump administration's unequivocal support for Israel in international forums and on international issues. We hear it every day in the podiums, in the White House, in the State Department, and the United Nations.
Tonight, Ludacris is getting wild.
You should be.
This is deeply, deeply appreciated and deeply valued. We appreciate as well the American commitment to maintaining Israel's qualitative military, which enables us to defend ourselves by ourselves against any threat. I look forward to our discussion, and I know that this visit will materially enhance the great alliance between our two nations, which serves the greatest interests and the best interests of both our peoples. Welcome to Jerusalem.
If you didn't understand that, World War III is about to start. It's not looking good, folks. It really isn't. And it's not looking good for Goldberg right now either. Roadkill from ECW that I created is destroying the American Satan. He was in that movie, American Satan. Complete joke. Let's go to the Hurricane Lane grounds.
Tuesday,
Okay.
August 20th.
Breaking news: Hurricane Lane grounds Hurricane Hunter aircraft, powerful Cat 5. Interesting.
First, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. Guys, you're looking at Hurricane Lane. I took this video footage this afternoon from a NOAA satellite. Got in real close to the eye wall. At the time, it was and still is, a high-end Cat 4 storm. Wind speeds of 155 miles per hour. Central low pressure of 941 millibars. The only thing that's changed between then and now is the central low pressure. It's actually gotten a little bit stronger. It's 929 millibars now, and it's headed right towards the Hawaiian Islands. So be ready, guys. I'll do another update later on this storm. I was kind of hoping the track would change just a little, but it's moving north, and it's going to affect every island in the Hawaiian chain as a hurricane, quite possibly a major hurricane. So be ready for a lot of water, guys, a lot of wind, possibly mudslides. That's what happened in Puerto Rico when Hurricane Maria went over the island of Puerto Rico, and its mountainous regions accumulated a lot of water. This one's not going to be, or at least it's not right now. That could change, but it's still going to be in the right quadrant of this storm as of right now, which is the strongest side of the storm. So some, if not most places, will see multiple inches, in some places maybe feet of rain. So on those volcanic slopes, that's just not a good combination. Plus, you're going to have storm surge from the incredibly strong storm itself that damaged a Hurricane Hunter aircraft, bringing storm surge to all of these coasts, especially the south and western coasts. So a big deal. This is a big storm, and it's going to create a big event. So I highly recommend being prepared for an extended period of no electricity. That seems to be a common denominator when these things make landfall on these islands, and Hawaii is just simply not used to hurricanes. So be prepared for an extended period of time without electricity. That's a possibility. Flash flooding is definitely a possibility. Have a flotation device and have rations, or have food and supplies enough to last you several days. Hopefully, you won't need it, but have enough provisions to last you at least a couple of weeks, and you'll be good. Have a flotation device. No joke. This is a big, powerful storm, and you're on a volcanic island, and it's going to create, quite possibly, a lot of big flash floods. So just be ready, guys. This thing is making a north turn. It is not going to miss the island. This is the article where I read about Cat 4 hurricane damaging, or they thought maybe it was damaged. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration had been sending multiple aircraft into and around the storm, which they always do. They've done that for years, hurricane hunters, in order to observe the hurricane and improve the forecast. That's what they've always done. This time, the Hurricane Hunter aircraft that flies through the center of the storm had to be grounded Tuesday morning, as it needed to be examined after encountering strong turbulence last night when flying through the Hurricane Lane. You know, I've been following storms for many, many years, and I've never heard of that. So this storm is exceptionally strong. And here's a look at the National Hurricane Center's official model. And you can see the hurricane watches are already coming up. This thing's definitely already starting to make a right-hand turn. It's going north, and it's not going to miss the islands, guys. So be prepared. We'll do an update in the morning as this thing continues its journey towards all of the islands.
Go to my YouTube channel tonight, folks. You're going to see a report and a video of the hurricane in infrared. I'm going to do it in infrared. Everybody liked that. Thanks for the views on that. Guys, Category 5, they're testing to see if they can get a Category 6 or 7. Guys, the reason that airplane could not get in that eye is because this is geoengineered. I thought you might want to know that. We are done for tonight, I think. Now, if there's more coming in, I'll bring in more gaming content and news at the same time. I'm going to be up late this week, tonight, and tomorrow, all the way, because we got 7 more days until the 28th. Every time on the 8th, right? 8, 18, and 28 is what I've been noticing now. Excuse me. If y'all want to, subscribe, like, share, and hit that bell. I'm not getting paid for this, and I'm certainly not getting the right people around me that wants to help. They want to stop it, and I got news for you. I'm not going anywhere, and I hope you understand that, Rachel. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Rachel. You lied, and my stepfather told me, if you or your boyfriend or anybody shows up here, the Navy SEAL's waiting. Have a nice day. Oh, and by the way, you are going to lose a lot of subscribers.